So I hear that writing is your favorite thing to do. Okay, I get it. Writing is not your first choice of activities. I get it. But maybe I can do something to make writing a little bit easier for you. What do you think? You want to give it a try? Great. What I'd like you to do is to grab a pencil and a notebook and let's get started. I'm going to teach you some tricks and some strategies to make your writing a little bit less scary. My name is Mr. Black, and I've been a high school English teacher for over 20 years. And the one common thing that I've noticed in all of my classes is how difficult writing can be for students, or for people in general. And what I want to share with you is that for me, writing is not such a scary thing. And one of the reasons is because I've had years and years of very strict Catholic education, and so I've learned some strategies to make writing a little bit easier, and lucky you don't have to endure all those painful years of Catholic school. But one thing that I think is important to get across is that for me, I look at writing differently. Before I ever begin to start writing, I think about the pattern for which I will put all of my information. And I'd like to, in a way, teach you this pattern or this way of looking at writing. Now, there is a small little disclaimer. What I'm going to share with you is just a basic way to do writing. It's a basic way to organize your thoughts in paragraphs, and this is not a replacement for any writing direction that your regular classroom teachers have given you. So always listen to your regular classroom teachers first, and if by chance listening to their writing instruction is a little bit difficult to follow, then this might be a good way to get you started. Now, the very first thing that I want to mention is that most writing, especially in school, begins with a prompt. What is a prompt? A prompt can be a sentence or a question or set of directions that sort of guide you into what you're getting ready to write about. And so let's say you have the following prompt. Let's say, what is your favorite household pet? And explain the reasons why. So there's a question. And so let's tackle that. And we're going to tackle it by using this thing that I call an 8-sentence paragraph. Now, the one thing that you should always remember about a writing prompt is that you want to read it very carefully. Before you ever begin to start writing in response to a prompt, you want to make sure you have a very strong understanding of what you're writing about. Many times I give my students an assignment, and they don't read the directions or clearly understand the prompt, but they'll go ahead and start writing and writing and writing and writing, and by the time it's turned in, I notice that maybe they didn't answer all the questions and they might not get full credit for that reason. And so, as a rule of thumb, make sure you understand the writing prompt 100%. That's the first step. Now, the second step is understanding a paragraph. The very first thing you should know is that a strong paragraph usually begins with a very clear topic sentence. And I'd like you to write this topic sentence down. This is my personal belief, but we'll use this in order to construct this paragraph. Topic sentence is this: dogs are wonderful pets for many reasons. So that's my topic sentence. And a topic sentence, it basically tells people what you are going to discuss in your paragraph. I also like to think of a topic sentence as a promise. It's a promise that you make to the reader to talk about this one particular thing. Now, don't break your promise. Please don't. Because if you break your promise, then you will potentially lose your reader, which is not what we want. We want to keep the reader. Now that I have my topic sentence, I want to talk about the pattern that I see. And my pattern has a name. It's called the 8-sentence paragraph. The 8-sentence paragraph, it has a very specific organizational style. And if you learn this organizational style, then you will be able to write paragraphs about anything. And that's an important point. When you have a strong foundation for which to write upon, then writing is going to be a lot easier. And if you learn these writing tips, then you are going to become a stronger writer as the days progress. And so with that topic sentence, let me describe the 8-sentence paragraph. Even though this might be difficult for you to do, I want you to stick to 8 sentences. Think of this as a paragraph with training wheels. We're training you to write a paragraph. And now, once you've mastered this, you'll be able to write whatever kinds of paragraphs you want in the future. But let's have a strong foundation first. Deal? All right, let's do it. Now, the 8-sentence paragraph, it begins with a topic sentence. That's at the beginning. And in the bottom is what I call the concluding statement. The concluding statement is the strongest statement you want to make in your paragraph, because it's the one that people will remember after they've read your paragraph. So you always want to end strong. Start strong, end strong. So concluding statement is at the end. Now, here are some things I'd like you to remember. An 8-sentence paragraph, it's constructed at the top with a topic sentence, at the bottom a concluding statement, and inside I'd like you to try to write 3 reasons, and for each of those 3 reasons you write 3 explanations. Now, to make it a little bit easier, think of this: 2, 4, 6. Sentences 2, 4, and 6 will have your reasons. Sentences 3, 5, 7 will have your explanations for those reasons. And now let's just use the example of this topic. Dogs are wonderful pets for many reasons. Now first, this is the first reason. This is going to be sentence number 2 after the topic sentence. First, dogs can keep you company. So we have the topic sentence, dogs are wonderful pets for many reasons. Now my second sentence is my first point. That's a little bit confusing, but try to hang in there. My second sentence is this: first, dogs can keep you company. And now that I've given my first point, in my next sentence, I want to explain that point. If you are lonely, dogs help you feel like you have a friend. That's why they call him people's best friend. And so what I have here is the very beginning of my paragraph. Now again, to retrace our steps, you have the topic sentence, which is sentence number 1. The second sentence is our first point. First, dogs can keep you company. And now after you give a point, make that point stronger by offering an explanation. If you are lonely, dogs help you feel like you have a friend. Notice what I'm doing also. I'm reading each of my sentences after I've written it. That way I can make sure it's clear. I can make sure there are no spelling or grammatical errors. So always, always, always read what you've written. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten paragraphs from students and the sentences don't make much sense. And I ask them, well, after you wrote it, did you read it? 9 out of 10, their answer is, no, I forgot. And so now I have my first point. Dogs can keep you company. And that's sentence 1, 2, and 3. Sentence number 4, and this is always going to be the case in the 8-sentence paragraph. Sentence number 4, I'd like you to begin with this transition word, second, and put a comma. Second, make it simple. Second, dogs can help you exercise. Some people might be wondering, oh, really? I don't quite understand. That's where you gotta hit them with an explanation. If you need motivation to run, for example, dogs can run alongside you and act as a little furry coach. Well, there you go. I have 5 sentences already. I only need 3 more. Is that right? 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, that's right. Anyway, sentence number 6. Now notice again, 2, 4, 6. These are my reasons. 2 is first, 4 is second, 6 is third. Third, dogs can help people who are disabled. Third, dogs can help people who are disabled. Well, if you don't know what I mean, I'm going to offer an explanation. Hang on. Third, dogs can help people who are disabled. Now that needs an explanation, and that's what I'm going to do in sentence number 7. If someone is blind, dogs can act as their guide. I've got a number of wonderful reasons why dogs are wonderful pets. And now it's time for me to wrap this up. Now I want to pause right here, because this is where I really want you to know that it's time for you to drive the point home. And it's difficult to drive the point home if you simply repeat your topic sentence, which happens so much for me. My topic sentence is this: dogs are wonderful pets for many reasons. Typically what I get are students that say, overall, these are all the reasons why dogs are wonderful. It's a perfectly good sentence, but you can do so much more. This is your opportunity to really drive the point home, to touch people's hearts, to make them know that this is the reason they just read your paragraph. Let's try this one. And I always like to start my sentence number 8 with the word overall, comma. Dogs can help and enrich our lives in a number of amazing ways. Now I really want you to feel how strong that is. Let's compare. Here's the first one, the one that I usually get. Overall, these are all the reasons why dogs are wonderful pets. Or, overall, dogs can help and enrich our lives in a number of amazing ways. It's a little bit more powerful. I hope you agree. And I want you to always remember to leave the reader with something powerful, because that's the last thing that they're going to remember. Whether or not they're fans of dogs or think that they are wonderful pets, they will be convinced that you absolutely believe that. And so now that is the 8-sentence paragraph. What I would like you to do is to continue this journey with me. Next time, we're going to try this again with another paragraph, just to make sure that you understand and to make sure you are paying attention. Until we meet again, you turn the tables on writing. Don't be afraid of writing. You make writing afraid of you. Is that what I want to say? Well, anyway, you get the point. See you next time.